Advisory Opinion 13, Al 13, 12323 Stone 459. This communication by the Appraisal Standards Board, ASB, does not establish new standards or interpret existing standards. Advisory opinions are issued to illustrate the applicability of appraisal standards in specific situations and to offer advice from the ASB for the resolution of appraisal issues and problems. Subject: performing evaluations of real property collateral to conform with USPAP application. Real property. The issue: how can an appraiser operating under the Uniform Standards of Professional Appraisal Practice, USPAP, develop and communicate a valuation of real property collateral that complies with the Interagency Appraisal and Evaluation Guidelines? 1011 Advice from the ASB on the issue. Relevant USPAP and advisory references. The definitions in USPAP include the following: appraisal. Noun, the act or process of developing an opinion of value. An opinion of value. Also included in the definitions is the following: appraiser, one who is expected to perform valuation services competently and in a manner that is independent, impartial, and objective. The scope of work rule states in part, appraisers have broad flexibility and significant responsibility in determining the appropriate scope of work for an appraisal or appraisal review assignment. Under Standard 1, in developing a real property appraisal, an appraiser must be aware of, understand, and correctly employ those recognized methods and techniques that are necessary to produce a credible appraisal. Standard 2 requires that a real property appraisal report contains sufficient information to enable intended users of the appraisal to understand the report properly. 2021-22 Background 23-24-25. The terms appraisal and evaluation have specific meanings and uses for institutions regulated by and under the rules and published guidelines of the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, OCC, the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, FRS, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, and the National Credit Union Administration, NCUA, agencies. The federal regulators require that an appraisal must conform to generally accepted appraisal standards as evidenced by USPAP, but that an evaluation need not conform to USPAP. The Glossary, Appendix D, to the December 2010 Interagency Appraisal and Evaluation Guidelines, Agency's Guidelines, defines evaluation as evaluation permitted by the agency's appraisal regulations for transactions that qualify for the appraisal threshold exemption, business loan exemption, or subsequent transaction exemption. However, appraisers who are bound by USPAP must recognize that an evaluation meets the USPAP definition of appraisal, and appraisers must comply with USPAP when providing such a service. 2628-3031-3233-34 Appraisers must be aware that each lender may have its own internal policies and requirements regarding the format and content of an evaluation. Those policies and requirements supplement the requirements stated in the agency's guidelines. It is critical that the appraiser and the client have a mutual understanding of the intended use and the scope of work for the assignment. One way to enhance this mutual understanding is for the appraiser to request copies of the institution's evaluation standards or requirements pertinent to the assignment. 3638A SB Opinion on Evaluations of Real Property Collateral 3911 Advisory Opinions 2018-2019 edition. The Appraisal Foundation USPAP defines an appraisal as noun, the act or process of developing an opinion of value, an opinion of value. Interagency Appraisal and Evaluation Guidelines 75 Federal Register 77450, December 2010, 89.